Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to paint a yellow iris. I took some photos at my sister's garden the other day and I thought it would make a wonderful watercolor greeting card. I have a Strathmore watercolor greeting card just clipped to a piece of mat board here so that it will stay kind of flat while I'm working on it. I've got some round Creative Mark Mimic brushes, and I've also got a pen here because I thought I might try using this to scrape in some veins versus my little credit card scraper. And I'm using Turner watercolors. This video is brought to you by jerrysartorama.com, and you can find the supplies that I'm using there. I will link them down below, and I thank them for their support. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to saturate this large brush. It's a number 30 round. It came in the value set of the Mimic Squirrel rather. So they are a completely vegan friendly brush, all synthetic, but they hold a lot of water and paint, which is really nice. So I just basically wanted some just splats so that when I go and paint my flower, I will get a little bit of whooshing action while I am when I put my strokes down. Now I've got a number 8 round, and I'm gonna start off with, I think I'll start off with some yellow. This is Permanent Lemon. You could also use Hansa Yellow Light. You just want a nice, bright, cheerful, permanent kind of lemon color. And I'm going to start by putting a petal up here at the top. I'm going to start tipping my brush for the top of the petal. And I am going to kind of splay out the brush and bring it down. So I've kind of got like, it looks like a flame, kind of. And I'm going to do another one of those guys over here. Bringing it down to the middle. And I think I'll put it one kind of peeking out from the inside like that. I am going to now add a little color into that. I'm going to grab some sap green. And I'm just going to add a little bit to the end here. And then I can start to actually put in a little bit of the stem. And let it go right through the puddles. It'll make some interesting shapes. And while I'm at it, I think I'll put a bud over here. I will put the reference photo on my blog. I also have it on my Google Drive, but that's getting real full. I need to clean that up. So it might start off on Google Drive, but I might move it over to my blog. So just check the links in the video description. You'll find it. I'll put it somewhere and you can find it. Okay, now I'm going to grab I'm going to make myself a little bit of a purple. I'm going to start off with the Rose Red, which is a nice, vibrant, reddish color. I think I might actually start going in with that color and then add a little bit of ultramarine to make it kind of purpley, so that way my color stays so fresh. I want to put a nice big petal here. And I want to be careful to leave space for the beard of the flower. Grab a little bit of the ultramarine. Let's make a little purple here. I want my colors to mix on the paper. That's what's going to give it this really loose and vibrant look. And I got to let some of the white of the paper in there to show as well. Now, I'm wondering if I can get a really cool effect using a dip pen for my veining rather than using the credit card scraper. This is much more comfortable to hold. Let me just move my palette out of the way because my hand wants to rest right in my paint. And while it's wet, I like this actually a little bit more than the credit card scraper, just because I can draw with it more because it's much more, it's much more natural. It feels like holding a paintbrush. Oh, I like that. I like it, I think, because I've got kind of a loose effect going there already. Okay, let's do the opposite one over here. Let's start in with our Rose Red. Now, I got a lot of questions recently about this palette that I'm using. This is actually the tin. When I bought my core watercolors, it came in this tin, and I just love this big mixing area they had, so I just put magnets on the bottom of these pans, although I think I'm going to put my Turner paints in like a more classic palette because honestly, this is a little bit more convenient because still these little magnets that I put on there kind of wobble a bit, and it's because I just used what I had, And, you know, if I had like a flatter magnet, it wouldn't have been an issue, but I was just using what I had because that's what I do, and I just wasn't that happy with it. So it doesn't really matter. Use whatever you like, you know, put your paints in a permanent palette, especially if you know, don't have a ton. That's a great option. I also want to get a little bit of that purple in some of these. It's going to give you kind of that brown look, but that's all right because that's what you get on these flowers. And I also want to go in here in these buds because you also get a little bit of a purple in there. Oh, I really am enjoying how this is coming out. I've done so many really long tutorials for you guys, and I was kind of thinking, you know, it's summer. We need to be a little easy breezy here. We can't have everything be like an hour and a half long. People don't have time for that in the summer. So I'm like, I gotta do something that's a little bit more easy breezy. Now the neat thing about the pen, I'm gonna turn this a little bit. Hopefully it stays in camera for you. The neat thing about the pens is that you can kind of, it kind of holds a little bit more of the ink, I think, so you can drag it up a little bit. Like I am here. I'm really liking how fluid this is. Oh, that's pretty. And I might try, as things dry, I might try loading a little bit of paint on this, and we'll see if we can draw with it. That might be kind of a fun thing. So I haven't really blotted my brush at all. I've like scraped it on the edge of my water jug there, just to kind of give you an idea of how wet my brush is. It's been pretty wet. So I'm going to get a little yellow ochre. I love yellow ochre. I think it's one of my, I won't say my favorite colors because it's not like anyone's like, ooh, yellow ochre. You know, yellow ochre is kind of a dull color, but it really does some beautiful stuff when you use it, though. You know, it's like I don't know. I want to say it's like MSG. It makes everything taste better, but so many people are allergic to MSG that I think that might give it the wrong rap. But it's just like high fructose corn syrup. I don't know. It just makes everything taste better. Makes everything look better. Oh, I think we need another little blossom over here or something, because I got a blotch of water that I need to do something with. What should we do there? Should we do like a little, maybe just another little bud. We'll just do a little bud there. I didn't want to darken up my little stem. Oh, we could do a little bit of ultramarine in that. Hither and yon. Let's do, okay, I'm going to blot it now because I had a little too much water there. Let's do a little bit of purple here in this bud, like it's maybe going to open sometime soon. And we can do our scraping. I'm really liking using the pen for this. That's working really well. Especially, I feel like I can drag the color out more too. And get that nice onion skin texture up here. This little wispy extra bit there. And I'm going to blot my brush. I've got such really a cat hairball on my desk because the cats, I always freshen my water when I'm done painting because my cats will sneak a drink. I take both of my yellows there. I want to get a little bit of yellow on the back side of that petal. Not too much water there though. I'll blot some of that out. Let's try that again. I don't know what it is. But I'm not the only artist that has that issue, because every once in a while I hear somebody talking about like their paints and their cats getting into them. So I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one. All cats love the delicious paint water. Give a little rim of yellow on that guy. Oh, I just love it. Purple and yellow are opposites. They're complementary colors and they just look so delicious next to each other. But you mix them together and they get kind of muddy. A little bit of yellow ochre up here. And you put little shocks of it here and there. So pretty. Okay, so now I want to put the beards on the iris. I'm going to go in with that lemon, permanent lemon first, and just kind of dab them in there. Do the same over here. You have that petals turned away, that's why it looks smaller. I might fatten it up a little bit though, because it does look a little like too small. Let's see, what do I want to do? Maybe you swoosh it. We'll swoosh it? Swoosh it? I think so. We'll swoosh it like it's got like an extra bit of depth. That's the cool thing about working like this when you're really working loose, is that as long as you're pretty accurate, I'm looking at a photo I took, so, you know, I was there, I saw all the irises. As long as you're pretty accurate, you don't have to put all the details, and you just need to, like, you just need to give that guide. I really like that. Now, something I wanted to try, I might regret it, but, you know, better for me to try and mess mine up than you to mess yours up, right? I'm going to try loading a little bit of ink onto this. Now, this nib does not have one of those little reservoirs on there, so, but that's all right, because I don't really need to put a bunch on there. So I'm going to mix myself up some purple here, some burgundy. I'm using the rose red and the ultramarine. And we'll just see. We'll see what we can do. Now, probably I should be grabbing my sketchbook and trying this on something else. But I like to live on the wild side, so we'll try it over here. Ooh, you know what? Hey, that's working. All right, so we could try that. I don't know if I should on the inside of my brush or the outside of my brush. I just don't want it to, like, you know, lose everything all at once and be like, you know, whoosh, and I have no more yellow petals. So I want to make this as comfortable as possible. I'm going to, ooh, I like that. Oh man, you guys have got to try this. If you have these pens at home, anything like this, please. This is fun. And this, I'm just going to hold that to that's damp. It's not dry. If you want a little more control, you could definitely work on a dry paper. Oh, I just love it. It's like pen and ink and watercolor all together. I like it because it's not absolutely, completely, like, predictable, which might drive some people bananas, but I think that if that drove you bananas, this probably would not be the project you'd click on to try, so I think we probably got some free spirits here amongst us. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a, oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, I love it. Do you love it? Let me know in the comments below. I kind of love it. Oh, yeah, this is so cool. Don't worry, credit card scraper. I'll come back to you someday. So I'm just going to load this up with my brush here. I even could do this with liquid watercolors too. You could dip it right in your liquid watercolor if you wanted to. I like liquid watercolors. You know, they're so nice. However, I find that, like, if I have to open a jar of something, the likelihood of me using it is much smaller than, like, having a palette where all I have to do is, like, dip a wet brush in it. Do you guys feel that same way? Because liquid watercolors are lovely, you know? I like that. That's fun. I think I like it because you know, there's not a harsh black line, and I do like pen and ink with black lines, but this has such a kind of soft, organic look to it. That's pretty. I like it. Now I'm just debating whether or not I want to maybe add some splashes. I kind of think I do because I'm just gonna rinse it off because there's so much white in the background that never got any pigment like whooshed out into it. So I think I really like the greens and blues maybe. So let's do a little sap. And you can touch it into an area where you did add the you have a speckle of water, and you'll still get that kind of nice organic shape. Now I love painting on a greeting card because it takes the fear away. And what I get, and let me show you the box here. I get these big packages right here from Jerry's. It's the 100 Strathmore watercolor cards and envelopes, because it's honestly cheaper than me making my own cards and making an envelope or buying an envelope. It's like, I think it works out to be about 35 cents a card. I mean, you can take like 20 minutes, paint a card, right? It would take you longer to drive to the store and find a card. And it certainly is a lot more, I don't like that much blue. It certainly is a lot more special, I think, memorable. I'm just going to dab that because I don't really like the blue so much on its own, but it does granulate nice, so I find that a lot of times if I can't quite control where I want my splashes to go, if I just kind of dab in the water and then I like flick it in, I kind of get the look that I like. I know not everybody likes this, so if it's not your cup of tea, don't feel like you have to do it. You absolutely don't. You do what's right for yours. I love that, you know, I can spend 20 minutes. It takes me quicker to paint a card than it does to like rubber stamp one. I like to rubber stamp too. But I just like that you can make something that's completely one of a kind, and you can get your practicing in. And if you're someone who always goes back and judges their stuff and is like unhappy with it, this is great because you send it away and then you never think of it again until you go to your friend's house and you see they've put it on the wall. And that's actually kind of cool. I mean, you might think that, oh, you framed that, I'm so much better than that now. Oh. But honestly, I think it's all good. It's all part of our growth. People love to get cards, and I think having a little hand-painted card is so very nice. Now, if you want to go over an area and darken it, the cool thing about doing the scraping is that you're not going to lose those lines. So if I decide, I wish that was a little darker there, I'm going to put in a little bit of dark. I'm not going to lose anything I've put in there. In fact, if it seeps into those crevices, it's just going to get darker. I'm just going to get a darker vein. And that's nice. Now, if what's on your brush is thicker than what's on your paper, you will retain your strokes a little bit more, so you don't have to worry about losing that, which I think is really fun. You know, it's just about learning how to control the water and control like how wet your brush is. And it comes with practice. It's not, I can't sit down and tell you this is how you do it. This is what your brush should feel like. I mean, I can tell you that, but like I'm feeling a little drag. I know my brush stroke's going to pretty much stay where I put it. That's something you need to experience and learn on your own. All right, I really think you're much better off not overdoing it, stopping before it's done. And there you go. If you like to have a pretty border around this, you could tape your paper down first and make sure you put plenty of splashes and maybe even do a background. But I think this is nice and light and easy, and I think it looks really pretty. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you want to find any of the supplies that I used today, check out our sponsor, jerrysartorama.com. I'm using the Turner watercolors. They're extremely affordable. Artist quality paint at student quality prices. You can buy them by the tube. You can buy them in sets. They have an 18 color set that has tiny 5 milliliter tubes, and it usually, well, it's under $30. I think the retail is like $150 if you had to order it from like Japan, but they always have that at a low price, and I honestly think they lose money on it, so that, and I don't know, but I would bet, because it brings so many people in to try this line of paint. There's a few colors I don't like in that 18 color set, but for the price overall, it's wonderful. Like, I don't like the Mayan colors, but that's a personal preference. I then got the 24 15 milliliter set because I like the colors there. It's quite a bit more expensive, but by the tube, it's not bad. But you can pick and choose any of these colors. Now, I'm using yellow ochre, permanent lemon yellow, sap green, ultramarine blue, and rose red. So you could try those 5 colors, buy them individually, and see what you think. There's certainly colors that you would use over and over again, and of course they mix well with other watercolors. So I'll have all the information in the video description. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up before you go, and until next time, happy crafting.